Okay, I'll carry on now. Right, we're going to talk about two distributions today. I'm hoping if Blackboard ever manages to wind itself into action here, I'll be able to show you something, but I have a feeling the YouTube videos don't work on here. But the key to doing these distribution questions, which are the last 4 questions in a non-proctored quiz and in a proctored quiz, is using Excel correctly. And if you can use Excel correctly, it's a doddle. You just have to open up the little box, stick the right numbers in, and hey presto, there's your answer. So you don't need to know the theory behind it or anything else, you just need to know how you use the box correctly. And what's quite helpful is, I don't know how many of you have looked at it, but there's this guy in Iowa who's done a whole set of about 32 YouTube videos on how to do various things on Excel. And the ones that I've looked at look just fine. So you should look first to see if any of the ones I've done are any use. We've only done 3 so far. But I haven't done any on probability, but I know that there is some on probability in this guy's stuff. And so you want to go and have a look at that. If this ever loads up, on Student View there's a thing that says web links, just like this. Just click on web links and it takes you to where this guy tells you about various things. As I said before, he's a bit hyperactive, but at least it's cheerful. Okay. Binomial distribution. Now, I used to wonder, where did these come from? I always sort of thought they were sort of magic. But what they are is it's just basically a way that maths explains what happens. And binomial distribution, and they're all sort of related. If you're interested in mathematics and stuff like that, it can be quite intriguing how all of these distributions fit together. But this is probably not the case in your case, so we won't go into that. Okay, now the binomial distribution has been found to model certain real-life behaviour. It's defined by the number of successes, x out a number of trials, n, all of which have the same probability, p. Okay, now on my Blackboard, like I said, if it ever gets going, there's a thing called distributions or whatever. You can actually try this out. And so you can put in the number of trials and the probability, and it'll give you the probabilities of each of the different things here. So say we've got 3 trials and the probability of success is 0.5. So say you want to try and sit a module quiz and you think you've got about a 50% chance of trying it, and you think it's totally unrelated to anything to do with skill and it's all luck. So you go and sit it 3 times, though having said that, once you'd passed you probably wouldn't keep going. But say you did, then the probability of not passing at all is 0.125, which is still 1/8. And probability of passing twice, and so on. Or another example might be, say you think that there's a 50% probability of having a boy or a girl when you have a baby, and you have a family of 3 children. What's the probability, you plan, I'm going to have 3 children, what's the probability that I have we'll call a success a girl, just for the sake of it. Probability that we have no girls is 0 girls, so there's a 1/8 chance that you have all boys. And then there's a 3.375 chance that you have 1 girl and 2 boys, and you've got same chance of 2 boys and 1 girl, the other way around, 2 girls and 1 boy. And then you've got a 0.125 chance of 3 girls. Having said that, I have 2 boys and they're just fine. I had a girl once for a while and she was a nightmare, so yeah. Okay, and then, it's not I murdered her or anything, she was a home safe student. So I thought, no, I don't like this baby, I'll chuck this one out, yeah. Okay, so then we have here, and the way this is different, this is symmetric because you've got an even probability of success or failure, but here you've only got a 0.1 probability of success. So you can see if you've got 4 trials and you've got only a 10% chance of getting it. So say you apply for 4 jobs and you think that you've got about a 10% chance of getting any of those jobs. What's the probability that you'll get none of them? Well, if you look here, the probability of 0 is 0.656. So the most likely thing is that you'll get none. Or the probability that you get 1 was 0.292. Probability that you get 2 is 0.049, and so on. So how it works is it just works out all the possible ways that it can happen and finds out the probabilities of each of those possible ways and adds them all up. And you can see the mathematics behind it if you really want to.